Well, he was a remarkable young man, and Stephen's mum, Jane, is with us now. Hello, Jane.
Hello.
14th of May is the second anniversary of Stephen's death, so still very raw for you, I'm sure, and I'm sure very difficult to watch those pictures. But you're saying his legacy lives on. You know, he'd raised £3 million on his Facebook page before he passed away, and that has just grown and grown.
It has. I mean, the fundraising's still continuing, and as of today, I mean, the total stands at over £5.5 million.
Wow. And has that helped you and the family in some way deal with his death, that people haven't forgotten him?
Oh, it's helped greatly, yes, because just surrounded really by so many positive, like, you know, thinking people who just want to raise money in Stephen's memory and just continue his legacy, which is, it's absolutely fantastic to see.
And is the money solely for the Teenage Cancer Trust? Because it's an amazing charity, isn't it? I mean, people don't think about teenagers getting cancer.
That's right, they don't know. All the money does go towards Teenage Cancer Trust because that was Stephen's chosen charity. Number one on it,
Stephen, didn't they?
They did, yes, yeah. Number one on Stephen's bucket list was to raise £10,000 for the charity. Wow. Because of the help it had given him during, you know, his treatment.
That was his ultimate goal.
It was, yes, £10,000, yeah. Because I do often joke about that and say, well, you failed at that one, Stephen.
How did he deal? I mean, terrible, terrible shock to get that diagnosis for a family. How did Stephen deal with that diagnosis when they told you it was terminal?
Stephen was just so positive, really, about his cancer journey, the whole treatment, you know, all the treatment he had. He just never let things get him down. He always used to come away from, you know, appointments where we probably had, like, you know, well, we had, you know, bad news, and Stephen would just come away and just write, you know, business as normal. There's nothing I can do about it.
And I read in the notes that he never once asked how long he had left.
He didn't know, and he didn't want to know. And in fact, Stephen never said that his cancer was terminal. He always used the word incurable.
Oh, did he?
Amazing positivity. And he made the decision to sort of make his fight very public, and you sort of struggled with that for a bit, didn't you?
It was very, very strange, yes, like sharing, because I'm quite a private person, really, and I was always there with Stephen and the fundraising events, but probably, well, I was always there in the background, and then suddenly having, you know, all these people who were, like, sharing your son's, like, cancer journey, and probably, you know, the final few weeks of his life as well. It was very strange.
We're seeing pictures there, the Prime Minister visiting Stephen. Jason Manford obviously had played a big part, didn't he, of getting Stephen's story out there. I mean, it really took off when Jason Manford mentioned it on Twitter.
That's right, yes. Jason Manford picked up on Stephen's story after Stephen did the thumbs-up photo in hospital. Up until that point, Stephen had raised, I think, £560,000 before, you know, the public, got behind Stephen's story.
Yeah. Can I just ask you about the diagnosis? Because, as I was saying earlier, people don't associate cancer with teenagers, and obviously there is an issue there. He had stomach pains, I believe, which lots of teenagers get. How did you sort of eventually discover that it was cancer?
It took quite a while, really, for Stephen to be diagnosed, and that's a very common problem with teenagers. When they go to the doctors, it does take, you know, quite a few appointments before they are actually given the diagnosis. Stephen's was probably from April to August before we finally got the diagnosis.
So you have to just keep going, because they sort of think it's just growing pains.
Well, that's right. Stephen's was initially put down to constipation.
Yeah. So he'd lost his appetite as well,
He'd lost his appetite, yes, yeah. So we knew there was something wrong with Stephen because he was such a keen sportsman. He was a runner, he played football, and he knew how to look after his body. He knew the things that he needed to eat, and he got an enormous appetite.
And
so
where do you think Stephen got his positivity from, especially under such circumstances?
I don't know. Stephen has always been, like, a really, really positive person anyway. He was always like that from being a young child, so I think that just, you know, it carried through. In some ways, you know, it didn't surprise me that he had got that positive attitude.
He mentioned his bucket list there. I gather he had 46 things on his bucket list. He'd managed to tick off a few, and you want to continue that. So your next challenge is climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, is that right?
Well, Mount Kilimanjaro, it wasn't on Stephen's bucket list. Why I've decided to do that, it's just in memory of Stephen, and obviously because I just want to continue the fundraising. So for me, it's just going to be an absolutely fantastic experience, because I just live by what Stephen said now, which is like, you know, if you get these opportunities that come along, just, you know, seize every moment and just, you know, make the most of every opportunity
So
that you're given.
Are you training now?
I have been training, yes, but I haven't started climbing up many hills yet, so, or mountains.
And now, obviously, today is the Queen's 90th birthday, and you got to meet the Queen when you picked up Stephen's MBE. How was that?
No, it was just such an amazing opportunity, really. I mean, I can remember when I gave an interview after that, just saying it was a bittersweet occasion.
Yeah.
Because obviously I would have liked Stephen to have been there and me watching him pick up the MBE. But it was just so lovely to know that Stephen knew about that.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, listen, Jane, he was an incredible young man. I'm sure he will be very proud of you as well, knowing that you're continuing that legacy. If you've enjoyed that, then why not click here for more? And don't forget to subscribe by clicking here, so that you never miss out on the best Loose Women moments.
I had a 9 by 6 centimetre tumour in my breast when I was diagnosed, and I had all the tests